Hello, this is Derek. This is Future Growth and Vision Norman, and I wanted to go ahead and give you an update on all the things that are happening. There is so much happening, and we hope that you're part of the momentum. Of course, I titled this Momentum. Are you part of it? And hopefully, this will be a chance for you to kind of find out what's happening around Norman, get excited. We have a lot of events coming up. Of course, one of the monthly events is coming up tomorrow night. That is Second Friday. Norman is going to be downtown. Check that out in the Walker District. It is our downtown area and it expands out several blocks. Also, you can look at the museums and other things going on around town. It will be a great night. It is going to be a little chilly, so wear your jackets. Go grab a cup of coffee at one of our 50,000 coffee shops. We have a lot of coffee shops in Norman. And so go check them out. Go visit one of our establishments if you want to go have an adult beverage, or you would like to go to one of the breweries or wineries, or just hang out and spend time. Don't forget to start planning for your Valentine's Day. We have several beds and breakfasts. We have Airbnbs in town. Start planning those evenings, and they will book up quickly. It'll be a great chance for you to, again, come and spend time here and really watch live music and hang out, get to have some personal time with your beloved. And the more you plan, the more special she feels. I'm just saying. So it's a good chance for you to do that. Let's get a look at kind of what's happened over the last time, since the last time I did this, and kind of give you a feel for what's been going on. Don't forget the Norman Chamber Banquet is coming up on February 9th from 6 to 9 at Embassy Suites. The tickets are $75. You need to RSVP by February 3rd, and you can do that at normanchamber.com / chamber calendar, or you can call 405-321-7260. Let's see. Beautiful desserts from downtown Norman, and it was just pretty. And so they take pictures of like gorgeous desserts. And I thought, you know what, that's true. We also, that's Sergio's. It has beautiful desserts right off Gray Street. Gray Street's gonna go through some changes this year. It's one way currently, but it's gonna change it up a little bit. Norman Next is doing a lot of their promo stuff right now. They are what I would consider young chamber. So they are the chamber group. They do a lot of philanthropic work. They are under 40. They are a dynamic group that's doing a lot in Norman. So if you are under 40, interested in economic development and the future of Norman, get involved with Norman Next. They are an incredible group and organization, and they've done a lot already, and I can't wait to see what they have coming up next. The Norman Farmers Market announced that they have a new manager, Tara McLean. Welcome, Tara. That is not a small feat. In case you're wondering, it is quite an event to set up for every Tuesday. Well, let's see, every Tuesday and every Saturday from like April to October. But now every second and third Saturday year round, it is open. So this weekend from 8 to 1, you can go out to the farmers market, check out some of the winter vendors, and then some of them will be inside, some of them will be outside. So if you need to be inside, you can be there. Outside, you can check some other people out. It will grow and grow and grow every year as this becomes a norm for us. Saturday morning at the Roastery is going to be coming up this Saturday at 11. There's going to be music, and that is at Yellow Dog on Porter. It's at Porter and Eufaula. It used to be an old motorcycle building. It is beautiful. It's got a rounded front. One of the, I would say, most exciting openings, I would argue, of a couple of years. They keep teasing. They're not messing around. Pinocchio's is opening. In case you're wondering where they're opening at, it is on Classen. It's right next to the neighborhood market on the east side. It's diagonal from 7-Eleven near Constitution. There was an Italian food place there before. There's a liquor store right next to it. It's by Slim Chickens. So it's in that shopping center at the end. For those of you guys that have been dreaming about breadsticks, it's waiting for you, and they can't wait. They're trying to get open by the end of the month. As soon as I find out more information about that, I'll let you know when they're ready to be open and kind of give you a shout out. Mod Pizza opened up, did kind of like a soft opening this weekend. They are an incredible pizza place. First time I ever tasted Mod was in Tulsa. Um, Also, my sister-in-law they had it in Houston. So we are a long distance from the nearest Mod Pizza. Go taste it. Go check it out. It is up in North Park near Embassy Suites, and it is incredible. It's an awesome pizza place, and they do great work. The Norman Twilight Market is coming back March 25th. That will be a lot of fun. That is it's kind of interesting. Like an adult Easter egg hunt will happen. They're gonna have live music and food. They're gonna have stuff for the kiddos. You got the breweries, you got pet adoptions, and all kinds of fun stuff there. So they're gonna mix and blend everybody together. The night markets were a vision of the former market manager because she saw it in Oklahoma City and thought Norman has a lot of young people and a high energy. We love events. We love to go out. We love to celebrate. So there was like, why not do this here? So this about it's still the first year technically. I guess November would have been the first one last year, October because they did a Halloween one. So it's October, November. So October of 2023 will be a year that they've done these. I'm excited to see them grow and develop and kind of the energy and synergy that does around the well area, which is super fun. There's cooking demonstrations happening at the Norman Farmers Market by the Pioneer Library System. Talk about partnering people together. Pioneer Library System is going to do a cooking demonstration at the farmers market. How fun is that? So, love our library system. They are incredible. Love the East Side Library, the Central Library, the West Side Library. If you have not been in their facilities, please go. They are fantastic. They truly are a crown jewel, and they deserve to be considering the years that they weren't. And they now truly have the library system that they deserve for the city that we're in. So excited about that. There's a grand opening. A beauty bar is going to open, and they're opening on January 21st, 2023. And that's at 2302 North Interstate Drive. So be looking for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And that's a new grand opening that we have coming in. On the agenda tonight, the planning commission agenda, they have one development that they're looking. Well, actually, two. There is a development out at 96 Southeast and 108th. I believe they're looking to do some mining out there. And then there's also a development that is what I consider infill. People may not consider it infill. 1300 West Lindsay. So if you look at the property that has been kind of stripped on the corner of Lindsay and Berry, that's going to be Starbucks. Then you go down the way a little bit next to there's a church property where they do events. Next to that, there's a bunch of trees. That is going to be a apartment complex after they get done agreeing to it tonight. So at 1300 West Lindsay, they're going to put in a high density residential, or they might put in commercial. We'll see what happens. No, it says multifamily. So they're gonna end up putting an apartment complex probably there. So we'll watch it and kind of see what they have coming up. I'm excited to find out more about that as it starts building, kind of what we see coming in. Let's see what else I have. Oh, all the political figures are getting their committees, which of course it helps us. Mod Pizza we've already done. And that address for Mod Pizza is 2065 24th Avenue Northwest. Again, and that's in North Park. The Chamber is doing a Crimson and Cream Collective. That's where businesses can work with athletes and their NIL and how to market with them, and they can actually like build relationships. Because in case you don't know, that is about to be very, very different. Very, very different. Don't forget, we have meat and eggs. Eggs. Hey, y'all, in case you're wondering, there's going to be eggs at the farmer's market. And they're probably not going to be $50 a dozen. If you've been into the grocery store, you've been a little shocked by egg prices. I've been a little shocked about egg prices. So I was like, that is a good chance for you to kind of figure things out. Um, Norman Park and Recreation, they're going to have an OHC, Education and Families are what we're all about. And that's what they're going to be doing at the Norman Rec on 1168th Northeast. That's the Little Axe Rec Center. They're going to be looking at things like healthy living, leadership development, resource management, cultural enrichment. And this is in Little Axe at 168 Northeast. I'm glad they're doing that. Of course, Little Axe is part of our family. Don't forget, you can get free diapers at the health department if you need them. Our health department does a good job of supporting everybody around us. Let's see. So much happening, y'all. Like so much happening. Hard for me to keep up with everything. Don't forget to I mean, if you haven't seen it, we have a lot of building going on. Housing is going up very, very fast, like very, very quickly. So we need to be aware of that. So there's a lot of I know there's a lot of road closures and people are like totally not cool. They're not having it. They have been through enough. Those of you guys that had to deal with Alameda, I am so sorry. I know that was so hard on you guys to have to do that. Unfortunately, it's going to continue because they're doing the next section and they'll do that for a while. And I can tell you, as a person who lives off of 24th Southeast, when they widened it to 4 lanes, it was a pain in the patoot. And it really was. But ultimately, after it's done, it's so nice. So, unfortunately, the growth pains are something we deal with, and we don't love that. But at the same time, we do have to kind of do that because we're going to grow. So we need to make sure we have the areas ready for us to be able to do that. And one of the things that we have to do is make our roads wide enough. And it doesn't make sense to put in a 4 lane road if we don't know where growth is going to happen. Now we have a pretty good idea. So hopefully, if we're building east or north, we have an idea that we need to build a little bit wider roads that we're thinking ahead of time. So maybe we don't have to rebuild them and kind of thinking about those growth projections. But I think that's part of kind of why I do this and what I'm doing right now is to really look at that idea of like, we have a community, we know what's happening, our parks are growing and changing. What we're expecting from our city is changing, and it will again. If you looked at, I looked at the census data, and in the last 10 years, we from like 2010 to 2020, we added 50,000 people in Norman. If we just kept it at that rate, if that was just what like the same rate that we did it before, that means that Norman's going to be about 184,000, and that's by the next in the next 10 years. So that's if we stayed at the same rate. That means we didn't go faster, we didn't slow down, but that's just exactly the same rate. Every indication says that we're going to grow faster than what we currently are. So the likelihood is we could be close to 200,000 people by 2030. In that case, we really have to look at what our city's going to look like, what it's going to be like. And it's not going to grow slower. I mean, because we have a university, because we have a large university that's in town, and it one of the things that we do is we develop companies and programs and people that come in and they come here and they just want to stay. Why? Because it's like it's their school, they like the town, it's fun, it's a place for them to like, raise a family, and they just learn that we're a great place to be. We love people, we love all kinds of people. We have amazing resources. So if you haven't been out to Lake Thunderbird State Park, please do that. That is fantastic. Um, it is beautiful out there. We did quite a bit of swimming out there this last year, and I was like, it was fun. We had a good time. Always looking for ways to make that better and for the state park system to get better and do better. And protecting, of course, the watershed is always important. It's super important that we do all of those things, but at the same time, again, represent and honor who we are and where we come from and all the different dynamics that we have in Norman. So hopefully we get to see responsible development. I know you all are out there like, what does that mean? Well, it varies depending on where you're sitting. For some people, responsible development is apartment complexes that are energy efficient. For some people, development is not an apartment complex at all. It's about 10 to 20 acres where you can get away from your neighbors. So it really, again, looks different. So that's where we all come together, collaborate, and honor each other. It is our art community. Where do they go next? What do they do next? What is the next thing that they're going to do? I expect that all of our events last year, they exploded. Like everything, all the events that we had got bigger and bigger and bigger because people were just like needing to be around people. I assume that that trend is not going to go away. If that's the case, then of course our first very large event is a medieval fair that comes up. And so we have to be ready for that. We also have a Mardi Gras parade coming up. So there's a lot of things that we do annually that come out. And then by the end of the medieval fair month, we're looking at the Norman Music Festival. Then we go into the summertime and we do Summer Breeze. I mean, these are all things that we do every year. And then we go through the summer. We have all the smaller festivals every weekend. And then school starts again. And the ebb and flow of Norman is super fun. If you don't know, it's the craziest thing. And if you live in a college town, you understand it. If you don't, you're like, what do you mean? So Norman is busy, like busy, especially when school comes in. And for those of us that live here, it's kind of an interesting dynamic because you have brand new freshmen that come in and invariably they drive backwards. Why? Because they go on the one-way roads and they don't know where they're going. They don't know where to turn. You get lost. And when I first moved here, I was just like them. I got lost in a neighborhood, got turned around, didn't know where I was, and thought I'm never going to learn this crazy city. Ultimately, I did, and it's this super amazing thing. But then the new ones are here. The new freshmen are here. So you're like, oh, this is like early August. We start to see that. Summertime, so we get the energy comes in August and it ramps up because it's football season. So not only do they come in because of the students, but we bring in 85,000 of our closest friends from all over the country to come into Norman for football Saturdays. And they come in and they just make a big party. So the fall is busy. Then about December 15th, when school's out, it calms down a little bit. But then the other students come home. The kids come home for Christmas. So we have them come home to visit their family. So we're not quite as quiet in December. Then they come back. So for example, this weekend, which is the 13th, 14th, and 15th, all of our students are coming back because OU starts next Monday. So our traffic's going to get busier. The stores are going to get more full. It's going to take a little bit longer to get places because they're coming back. That energy is coming back. Bunch of 18 to 22-year-olds. So, I mean, it's like, and beyond. So we really have a lot of energy that's injected, a lot of money that's injected into the community. They'll be here now until May. So ultimately they have that 1 week where they'll have like spring break. They'll be gone for a little bit, but ultimately it stays busy even during that. So they'll be here for the next 4 or 5 months. It ramps up. It gets summertime. They go out. So whatever you're doing, know that they're here. They're waiting to spend money. They're waiting to hang out and experience things. So what are you doing to give them that experience? Just show them the Norman experience so that they can, again, have that memory, record that memory, and share that memory. That's kind of the biggest thing right now is to have a memory, record the memory, share the memory, and put your place in it. Make sure that you say that you're a Norman. Come and visit Norman, Oklahoma. It's amazing. We're an amazing city. Then in May, we see a significant drop. Why? Because we have very few students that take summer classes here. The researchers go back home. And so you will see a precipitous decline where Norman becomes a real chill. And it's super fun in the summer because in the summertime, it's like everybody lets their hair down. It's like you take your shoes off, you walk in the grass, you hang out. You might watch live music. You might just hang out. You might just be with friends. But it's super chill. It's like Norman becomes a small town. Now recognize we have 134,000 people in Norman, so we're not small by any stretch. But we become more like a small town. So we do our thing. We have art festivals. We have, like I said, Summer Breeze in Lions Park. We have things that go on where we build together. We have community. We visit. We support. We go to restaurants, and you don't have to have long waits, and it's super fun. You get across town in like no time flat, really. It's also time for a lot of work to get done. So you will notice that the building gets a little bit crazier in the summer because why? Students are gone. So there's less people driving on everything. So we build, and it's summertime. So we have a lot of things happening at that point. So you'll see us grow and grow and grow. We also get a lot of people that move in. That's when you'll see rentals available. They're available for the summer for a couple of months. They fill up in the fall because we have students coming in and filling up those rentals. So our rental market is really interesting because it gets eaten up by students. Like students have it, they have signed leases and they're here. And so they're here for a while and then they go back home and they come back. And so that's kind of the ebb and flow of Norman and the way Norman works. So that happens every year. I'm intrigued to see what happens in the summertime as we grow and what that looks like. There was a festival this last year that I went to that I did not recognize as much as I ever should. The National Weather Festival is quite an event. If you've not been to the National Weather Center when they do the National Weather Festival, I took my sons. It was wild. I've never seen anything quite like it. It was super fun. We had a great time. Don't forget that we have basketball season, softball season. If you haven't come to watch OU softball, you're missing out because they're champions at every level. As a matter of fact, we got a lot of our players that are from here are going to be playing for the new professional team that's going to be at Hall of Fame Stadium. So excited about that. Again, we're a softball capital here. It is incredible. Oklahoma City softball capital, but a lot of the best players in the world are coming to the University of Oklahoma. Also, the best gymnasts in the world are coming from here. We have a history and a legacy of creating elite players and elite athletes coming out of Oklahoma. So hopefully you have a chance to come and see that. We, of course, are changing our conferences soon. When there's talk, it may be earlier than we think. If so, then we'll be an SEC school. So that does change things as well. Changes who comes in, where we go. The dynamic, the shift will change a little bit. The city will change a little bit because it changes kind of like our alignment in the sports world. As we finish Norman Forward projects, which if you haven't been out to see the soccer fields that are being built at Robinson and like 12th or Griffin Park, you'll see that it's Griffin Park. They're massive. If you go and look out by OU, they're doing the softball diamonds and the baseball fields, and they are also going to be a large draw because we're going to be able to hold tournaments. So bringing in those athletic tournaments is going to be a huge deal. We already have facilities out on 24th for cross country. We bring in large groups to come and do meets out there. So again, it's bringing people in, it's getting them into the city, and then doing what we do best, which is showcase who we are. We're Norman. So come and eat. Don't forget to go to the icons. You want to go to the Mott. You want to have a swirl. You want to make sure that you're going to the diner downtown for breakfast. I'm like, there's amazing things, amazing restaurants, and there's just places that are iconic when you come here. So you want to make sure that you're doing that. Make sure that you're visiting. Don't forget that we have our city goes a long ways, goes out to about 132nd. So we have businesses out by the lake. I mean, we have things happening everywhere. We're constantly growing and developing. Watch this channel, watch what I'm doing, subscribe to it so you know when I go live and you can find out the next thing. I will try and get on here when there's a lot going on. If it's slow, I'm not going to, but ultimately I don't see slow. My goal is to check it. If you are wanting to know up to the minute what's happening, go on my Facebook page, like that, and subscribe to that. It will tell you what's happening. I really would like, this is me asking as kind of a plea to anybody that's doing development, growth, or whatever events you have going on, for you to put that in Friday morning. I'm going to share everything I have Friday morning on Facebook. Get that out so people will have that immediately. I will do videos probably Thursday. That's my goal, is to do it once a week. If we get to a point where we're growing fast enough, I will do it twice a week. If that happens, I'll start to do it probably Tuesdays and Thursdays. If it's possible, if I have other things going on, I may switch the day, but at least once a week and maybe twice a week. We'll see what happens. So if you're excited about something happening, let me know. Like my Facebook page and share it. You can share whatever you want on there. I think I made it possible for that to happen. And I'll make sure I do that. I appreciate you guys. If you guys if you're not part of the energy of Norman, the community of Norman, the culture of Norman, welcome. Come and visit. Come move here, live here, play here. We have a ball, and we welcome you with open arms. Hopefully you have a great day.